You understand me? You understand me?
Well, hello. Just after 7 o'clock, and time for the penguin on top of your television set to explode. Ah, hi there. It is Thursday. I am Ron. Thank you to all the people who stopped in early. Hope you all come back and chat with me. We are exclusively on Instagram tonight because Facebook is going through something where they're deciding that they don't like people streaming into Facebook, which I really don't understand what their problem is. If they want to keep being relevant, you gotta support your base. But they didn't ask me. So, be that as it may, this is Thursday. It's time for Thursday Thoughts with Ron. I am Ron from Ron Boudoir by Ron O. I want to say welcome to all you ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, uh, iguanas, lizards, dogs, cats, anything but snakes. We do not allow snakes in here. This is a snake free zone. There, I've said it. Now, Thursday nights, I come in here, I spend a few minutes talking to you all about the thoughts that I'm having for the week and what's going on and what's doing, and somehow manage to stretch and make it all relate back to boudoir photography, which is what I do. I am the owner and photographer at Boudoir by Ron here in the San Francisco Bay Area. So when you are ready to explore your boudoir photography needs, do give me a holler. There's all the uh, information on the screen, and that's where it will live. It's been a busy week. It's been an interesting week. And it's actually been a couple weeks. As somebody pointed out last week, I didn't make it. Sorry about that. But I'm here this week, and we will be talking about our topic of the month, which this is the last week that we're going to be talking about the journey. Okay. Hence my picture. This is also one of my pictures that I call both paths less traveled, uh, because it reminded me of the famous poem about two paths diverging in the wood, which I can't remember right now, but it's out there. So look it up. Um, the journey. The journey is long and it's often fun. But sometimes it's tough. My family's going through some stuff. My mother's going through some health things. We find out tomorrow morning whether or not she has to have surgery again for the fifth time since February. And as you can tell by my glorious face, my mother is not a young woman anymore. So, hoping and praying on that. But that's my journey. Whatever happens will be whatever happens there. It's going to be touch and go. As I said, she's had a lot of problems since February and was just really starting to get onto recovery. And now is not so much on recovery. Thank you for joining V Models. I expect that other person who's hanging out in here is Tiger. But the journey, even when we don't like it, we have to take it as it comes to us. And sometimes it will beat us up and it will knock us down and it will make us not feel particularly good about where we are, or perhaps even lost about where we are. Um, one of the themes in this picture is neither one of those paths looks particularly exciting. I mean, they both just kind of go off into the woods, weeds out there. And a lot of times, well, sometimes, I won't say a lot of times. Thank you, Tiger. I hope it does. Um, sometimes I feel like I'm at this junction here. It's like I find myself where I am, and that's one of the points I've talked about before, is you always have to start where you are. Okay. You can't just wish you were someplace else. You always have to start where you are. And that's something that boudoir photography is very good at capturing: a moment in time, a bookmark, if you will, of this spot in your journey. It's like, on this day, when I was 68 years old, I was right here. I was leaning over this railroad track and I was taking pictures. Not only that, but I was feeling that dichotomy of what direction should I be going in. And professional photography is very good for capturing that. It's a way to put a stake in the ground and say, yes, this was real. This was me. This was me on this day. But I can't just sit there. There aren't caterers coming with champagne and caviar to say, "Oh, well, that's a really pretty dilemma you've got there, Ron. Yeah, nice tracks." I have to keep moving. I have to keep moving, and my personal philosophy is I have to keep moving ahead, even sometimes when I'm getting knocked backwards. I have to keep moving ahead from where I am. And I have to make a choice as to what path I'm going to take. And I have to make a choice to take responsibility for whichever path I take. I always like to joke at work and keep telling my boss that I will gladly take the blame for anything as long as I don't have responsibility for anything. But when it comes to my life, I'm the one making the choices. I'm the one who has to take responsibility for how those choices come out. Now, one of the good things is that, unlike a railroad track, I can head 6 feet down this right track. And if that doesn't work, I can veer off to the left. I'm not stuck in a particular track, even when I've made a decision as to my journey, as to which path I'm going to take on my journey. What I have to avoid is what a few years ago in political terms became known as flip flopping. Okay. it does me no good to zigzag back and forth between the two tracks because then I'm not really moving ahead. I'm doing a lot of motion. I'm doing a lot of going, but I'm not doing my journey. I'm not getting to the next step. It's sometimes difficult to stick with a decision because, as this picture represents, none of these look particularly nice. It's all weeds and stickleys. Those are probably thistles of some sort right there. And those are some more on the right hand side. We just we don't know what the outcome is. We can see a little ways down the road, but we don't know what's going to happen down around the bend. And if you've watched this series, you know that one of the places where we started is on confidence. And oftentimes, being able to follow your journey relies on your confidence. It's like, I have thought it through. I've discussed it with my higher power. I have looked in my heart of hearts. I've been brutally honest about what I am and am not willing to do, and who I am and am not right now. And then to have the confidence to stick with that commitment and follow it through and see where it takes me. Because you never know. You never know what your journey is going to do for you. It could be the most glorious thing that you never thought of in your life. You don't know. If you're like me, your brain tends to be hesitant and come up with all of the very good logical reasons why whatever I decide, that's the wrong path. There are always reasons to do something. There are always reasons to not do something. And my brain wants to jump to the reasons to not do anything. Whatever you bring up, my first thought is always, well, but if you did that, here are the risks. Boom, 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 boom. And I have had to learn to fight that as an adult. I mean, as an adult, I probably didn't start doing that until after I was 60 years old. You know, I was married to somebody that I let kind of drag me through my life. And when I was somewhere around 60 years old, I decided that I was sick of being dragged through someone else's life. And I wanted to come up on these forks in the road and make my own decisions. But it meant that I had to think about the good things that could be down each of the paths. So when I first started doing that, I still would automatically go to the negative things. And there's negative things down the right fork, and there's negative things down the left fork. Things can go bad any direction you go in. Sounds strange to hear when I'm trying to give you an inspiring message, but things can go bad. They do. Okay. And that's when you have to have the confidence and know what you can do and who you are and what kind of strength you have inside of you. Next week, we start in on next month's topic, which is body insecurities. Okay. And it's not just body insecurities, all insecurities originate in the brain. Okay. If we have a body that gets us around and we're still breathing, then our body is working. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing, and there is no flaw in it. But we'll get into that next week. But I have to be able to go down my own path. Hey, Tori. And have the confidence to follow whichever path I choose. So I got to look. I don't know how long I've been talking. Not very long at all. It's only about 6 minutes. But I've been talking about this journey for 5 weeks now. And I don't know what else to tell you about it. Your journey is your path, and only you can choose it, and only you can take it. But you can take stops along the way, such as a boudoir photo session, to mark your path along that journey. Okay? To take a bookmark and say, I went from here to here, and this is where I am on this day. Don't fear it. It is the truth. See reality always wins. Okay? The reality is my journey has brought me this far. My journey has brought me to California. Okay? My journey has brought me from the East Coast to Ohio, to LA, to Phoenix, to Hawaii, and now Northern California. And this is where I am. That all happened. That's real stuff. That's real stuff. I can't make it up. It happened. I spent too much time in the sun as a young man and would continually go out at the beginning of the summer, get burned, okay, peel it all off, and then thought, okay, that's just what I do. I get burned, it all peels off, and then I'm fine for the summer until a few years ago. You probably can't see the scar. Okay. I got skin cancer on this arm. Fortunately, it wasn't a malignant type, but it happened. That's part of my journey. And when I do go get my boudoir pictures done, I'm going to specifically ask them, do not retouch around that scar. That scar is part of who I am. This big old nose, this is my grandfather's nose. Okay. These big old floppy ears, those are from my grandmother. This long hair, that's just to piss off my mother. And because I always wanted to be a hippie. I grew up just young enough to not really be a hippie. So I'm destined to always be a wannabe hippie. But I know that. I took me a long time to learn it. But that's my journey. My journey has brought me right here, right now, right today. 68 years old, sitting in my rented house in Northern California, near the beautiful San Francisco Bay, near the beautiful Sierra Nevada mountains, near Yosemite, near Lake Tahoe. I'm really glad to be here, even though I forget some days. So don't forget to celebrate your journey. Don't forget to bookmark your journey and say, hey, I am here. Okay. Sort of like, the Who's in Whoville. We are here. We are here. We are here. That's a good thing. On Thursday night, to be here right now is a good thing. I'll be back next week. If you like what I said, be sure you like and follow and ring the notification bells and do whatever you have to do on social media stuff to uh, keep me enlightened and keep me honest. But in the meantime, you be good to yourself. Be kind to other people. And do the things that you want to do and become the person that you would like to meet. Peace out.